Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to PWF Empire's review of the episode of SmackDown Live that aired April 25th, 2017. I am Jay, and yes, you are seeing me on one of these review shows. I'm usually heard in the background or not heard at all, but our two co-hosts for the SmackDown review are out of commission this week, Lucas and Evan. So I am here along with a returning Justin. What's up, Justin?
I'm good, Jay. What's up with you? How's it feel to be doing a show with me again? It seems like
I don't know.
we're destined to do this forever, kind of a thing.
Are we?
You're Batman, I'm the Joker, or vice versa, whatever you want to do. But it's meant to be, Jay.
If you say so. Let's see how this goes. And just so you all know, last week on the show, Lucas kind of touched on it. I was nervous as hell putting two live wires like Lucas and Justin on the show together, but it turned out nicely, and I'm thinking that the universe made that show go well because they knew I was going to be here next week. So this is where the calamity will ensue. This is where shit is going to go down. So
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I can't believe I'm about to say these words, but Justin, I'm turning over the reins to you.
Yes! It's time! It's time!
I can't believe I actually said that. Okay, so yes, Justin, what do we got for our SmackDown review?
We got a ton of stuff here for SmackDown, guys, and we're going to start off with Jay's favorite topic, probably Charlotte. I figured we should start from the top and go down, kind of a thing.
Okay.
And
open at the close, so to speak.
yeah, ooh, Harry Potter reference. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Charlotte, she had a women's title match. You have to differentiate the two because they're two different brands. But she had a SmackDown's women's title match with Naomi. I would say it was a pretty damn good match. The ending is going to be up for debate, I feel, here. But, Jay, what are your thoughts on Charlotte and Naomi in the match itself? And do you feel like it was booked like it should have been booked between the two of these people?
Where there were some kind of rough spots in the match, and I think that that's natural bringing on a person like Charlotte because she doesn't work the same style that a person like Naomi does. Because if I'm being completely honest, as much as I love Naomi, as far as her in the ring, she has not evolved beyond, she's not evolved into this whole women's evolution of WWE. She still pretty much wrestles the whole diva style, and Charlotte is a legit superstar. So
Yes.
bringing her over to SmackDown, it is going to call for people like Naomi to step up and bring something different to the table, something other than what we've usually seen from her. And I think we got a little bit of that tonight, but of course there are growing pains that come into play. Overall though, this was a really entertaining match for me, and I'm glad to see a person like Naomi, due to the benefit of having Charlotte there, be placed in such a big spot in the main event on SmackDown.
I enjoyed the match too. I thought it was well done, and I was actually thinking about. It's funny you brought up the whole she wrestles the whole diva style Naomi does. So I was watching the match and I was really looking at her and Charlotte and see what the difference is, because I felt during the promos there were two different kind of promos too earlier in the night.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte's talking about how she's made of gold, and Naomi, it felt very like it was her. It wasn't her playing a character; it was being her kind of a thing, even though it's her playing a character. Naomi felt very showy and very like I'm playing a character right now. I'm trying to be myself, but you could tell it was like a twinge of phoniness there. And
I mean, that also does play into her whole like feel the glow type thing. So when she does stuff like that, it plays into the gimmick.
At the same, it may do that, but it didn't feel like genuine. Like Charlotte felt genuine. So I'm like, okay, I'll watch the match to see how these two. And the entire match, I was enjoying it, but I couldn't help but feel that Naomi did not belong in the ring with Charlotte. And I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan, but I always looked at it like Naomi. She's been there since the Kelly era and all that stuff. She's been there way longer than Charlotte. And you have to think, having to see Charlotte get like the pay-per-view main events, she's seeing Charlotte do all these things, like breaking down barriers, walls, and everything, and yet Naomi's never really reached anything spectacular. This is her second women's title run out of all these years, and yet what has she got to show for it, kind of thing? And Charlotte has all these accolades. I'm just watching, like, it made me question if I really did like Naomi as a wrestler, because she was like one of the. It was very. Yeah, you were gonna say
See,
something?
the thing about it is, like, Naomi is just now getting her time in the spotlight, and for whatever reason, it didn't really happen before, and I don't I don't like to judge Naomi by the past, Funkadactyl that
Oh no,
she
she's
used to
definitely
be,
risen above.
because I this is the only time in her entire career in WWE that the focus has been placed on her. So I think that she's kind of like judged by a different. I look at her differently, basically, but it does mean something for as long as Naomi has been in WWE, and she hasn't accomplished half of what Charlotte has. So
Like,
it,
wouldn't
like
that
I said,
drive
that
her to
culture
be
clash is
better
going to come.
than what she was doing? Because it really felt like Charlotte was the one guiding the match, doing this and that. Like, she was definitely the ringleader, and yet Naomi's the veteran here of the two, and it was kind of weird. Like, you would think Naomi would look at this like, this is my chance because this is my time to like in the sunlight, as you said. I'm with Charlotte. It's the main event of SmackDown. It's my time to really, feel the glow. But
It's a culture clash. Charlotte came in with the revolution, and Naomi, she is the veteran, but it's a different division literally now than it was when she came into WWE. So with her mixing it up with a person like Charlotte, that's going to rub off on her, hopefully, and maybe we'll see a new Naomi going forward.
which leads us to the next part: the Women's Coalition welcoming party. I don't know what they're called. It's a Carmella, Ellsworth, Natalia, Tamina, and Becky Lynch
Mm-hmm.
was kind of scrapping with them. They attacked and stopped the match, leading to a DQ, which I'm okay with because it means Naomi and Charlotte could maybe have a title match at a pay-per-view where this kind of thing belongs,
Mm-hmm.
and not so much on SmackDown. Leaves open to that, or maybe a multi-person match. I don't know. But what do you feel about this welcoming party against Charlotte narrative? Because if you look at the end of SmackDown, the focus was on Charlotte's reaction to the attack, not so much Naomi, the champion. She was holding the belt and was like, doesn't feel like it's your belt anymore. You're just kind of holding, like, I don't know. I feel like you should have a focus on both of them maybe instead of just having Naomi on the outside and just Charlotte being the one. I don't know. It felt really off.
It's going to be some type of juggling act that they have to, or a balancing act, should I say, that they have to strike on SmackDown, because let's go ahead and acknowledge the fact that Charlotte is a huge friggin' superstar. Just look at her being on SmackDown and elevating the Women's Championship to a main event match. Like, we've seen it before with Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch, but that I didn't really get a feel that they really belonged in that place.
No.
Now with Charlotte elevating it to the point, Charlotte was the biggest acquisition in the superstar shakeup. So things have to change with her being on SmackDown. And I think that this is just a reflection of that. The reason why they're all banding together is they're like, damn it, we're not letting Charlotte come in and completely take over this division. So as much as I wanted to see a legit ending between Charlotte and Naomi, I still understand it, and I'm willing to check this out to see where things go, because they had to somehow, some way address the fact that Charlotte is this big, huge superstar, and her presence drastically changes the way
landscape.
that it drastically changes the landscape. So they had to find some kind of way to address it, and if this is their way, I'm willing to sit back and see what this ride is going to be giving.
And with this women's welcoming party, with Becky Lynch being like, I don't know if I should be against you. I'm proud of her ambition, kind of a thing. Just like, this is something different we haven't really seen in a women's division recently, because it's mostly like, I'm your friend or this or that. Now it's like, it's about landscape and who importance and pecking order, how a division should be, kind of a thing. And with like Alexa Bliss, she was just kind of like, there wasn't really any big through line with her. It was more like, I'm women's champion. Oh, I lost to Naomi. Boom, boom. This is like, there's like layers and levels, and like, I feel like they're really putting emphasis on the women's division, as it should be, because there's story to be told here, and they're telling what you said. Charlotte came in, like a wrecking ball, broke down those walls. SmackDown's mind, like, we're not willing to give it up that easy.
Yeah, and I know Lucas last week on the show, he's all anti-Charlotte, like, oh, she's going to get in here, she's going to change stuff up, and she's going to take over. And I, talked about that with him on the PWF Empire podcast last week, and I was telling him that Charlotte coming to take over the division, it's not as if she's not bringing a story with her, because that, Charlotte taking over the division, that is a story in and of itself, and this is their response to it.
and it feels new and fresh. And I'm willing to see what happens next. I'm excited. I'm curious. I got my curiosity. So if we're going from the top from the bottom, let's just go straight to the bottom now. The state of the WWE title address, shall we? Last week, Jinder Mahal became number one contender. Fine. No, not fine. We'll see. Not even we'll see. Okay, just show Jinder Mahal do something this week. We'll see how it turns out. Randy Orton won a great match with Eric Rowan, giving praise to, the savior himself. I hope to try his wine later tonight in victory.
What's your definition of great?
I don't put me on the spot like that. No, Eric Rowan carried.
Just go ahead and say you just call it great just because Eric Rowan was in the match.
Yes, he carried Randy Orton to a fine match, and weapons evolved, all that good stuff. Basically, it was their half-assed attempt to build to the House of Horrors match, even though Eric Rowan has no plate, whatever. Don't know what the match is, don't care. We're not about that. Jinder Mahal comes out and says, "Yo, I'm going to be champion, and you don't want to be champion because I'm not like you. I'm just talking my natural tongue." Punjabi. Boom. Thank you. I'm an uncultured swine. What can I say?
Just like every other WWE fan. So you fit right in.
Yes, that's going to be the big catalyst of my argument here. Keep that in mind. Keep that. And he beats up Randy Orton with the Bollywood Boys, takes the title because, stealing the title is always the best feud to be interested in. Really adds credence to a championship feud I just want to see so badly. Randy Orton's laid out. Jinder Mahal has the belt. What are your thoughts on the Jinder Mahal-Randy Orton confrontation of proportions?
Okay, let me go ahead and say this. This is one of those situations that you'll never know how something turns out until you're actually in the midst of it. So last week, Jinder Mahal wins the number one contendership. It's very easy to say, oh, this is shitty. This is absolutely terrible. This jobber just won a shot at the WWE Championship. Seeing Jinder Mahal in that position this week, though, I gotta say, he does have a certain presence about him that I do not dislike. That's how I'll put it. I do not dislike what Jinder Mahal brings to the table because there's something very commanding about him when he's on the mic, when he's talking, and the things that he's saying. Speaking of the things that he's saying.
Ooh, okay. I know where you're going. Go for it. Go for it.
Let's go ahead and answer the question, why is Jinder Mahal a heel?
Yes.
Why is Jinder Mahal a heel? Because he's different. Because his skin is darker. Because he's brown. Because he's not from America. That's the only fucking reason why he's a heel. And I guess it's like blasphemy for me to sit here and criticize something like that, knowing the history of wrestling. You have people like the Hero and Sergeant Slaughter. Then you have the Ultimate Villain and the Iron Sheik. And
Iron Sheiky.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a villain. He's the fucking hero now. But for all his social media antics. But yeah. The point is, maybe it's blasphemy for me to sit here and criticize something that has been such a huge part of the wrestling industry. But in the year 2017, having a heel get over basically get heat by basically being, I'm brown, boo me. Gotta say.
No. And can I piggyback off that?
Sure.
I've had a problem with this since Rusev came about, kind of a thing, because I've never seen Rusev as a heel. I mean, he's proud to be Russian and Bulgarian and all that stuff, but we're supposed to boo him because he loves his country and all this stuff. I don't get it. Like, I always feel like the heroes are dickheads. Like, we're forcing jingoism on you. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need that. Enough of that in real life. I don't need that in my wrestling product. But with Jinder Mahal, I agree. He does have a certain presence. When he talks, he has a great speaking voice. Like,
yeah,
I like to hear. My problem with him being
not as good as Braun Strowman's, but I guess this is SmackDown though. So
yeah, we can't speak of the greatness.
Is he number one on SmackDown? Who has a better voice than Jinder Mahal? I don't know. I'll figure it out.
On SmackDown? Oof. Bray Wyatt's not on SmackDown. I don't know. Nakamura. I'll say shit. Okay, but my problem with Jinder Mahal isn't so much he's a job. my problem is like there was no build up to it. He's just thrown into a situation, shocking for the sake of shocking. Here's your number one contender. We're gonna try it. Like, I'm okay with trying things new. Build up to it. Give him a story going up forward. Give him a U.S. title run or what's on SmackDown.
Give him some wins.
Yeah, just all he needs some wins. Beat Mojo Rawley the week before. Beat I don't know. Beat Finn Balor too. I don't know. But do something to get momentum on your side. Then okay, I can accept and see where you go with this. It's a little hard when you're jobbing out moments later. On to the point of the why he's a heel. I don't like it either because it's just like he's talking in his tongue. Oh my God, he's not speaking English. Fuck him. Like, no, like that's not a bad thing. Let's talk to. I just don't get it. I don't get why we should hate him for this. Like, it makes Randy Orton seem like maybe a dickhead. It's like, dude, I'm gonna force this America down your throat and win the belt. Like,
well, I mean, WWE has been criticized in the past before, but by not keeping up with the times, they don't have their fingers on the pulse of America.
No.
Judging by this past election, shit, maybe they're on point.
Maybe, but we're being social justice warriors. We can't do that. We're gonna turn people away. No. Here's how you make him a heel, and you shouldn't focus on him. I could even see him being a face with this gimmick. That's how. And where America should be right now, and where the WWE should be, he should be the face. Like, I'm doing this for my people. I'm doing this because I believe in equality and all this good stuff. But now we're supposed to boo him because damn equality, fuck him.
Diversity, boo,
boo, boo, red, white, and blue, motherfucker. It's just no. Like, you make him a heel by doing heel things, stealing wins, talking trash about Randy Orton, taking the belt's a good heel move, even though it's not a good heel move.
I mean, well, shit,
it's better
as
than,
far as I'm concerned, it keeps it away from Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, so that's a face move to me.
Yes. Oh my God. Bray Wyatt. Okay. But so where do you think the WWE title is, though? This is the state of the WWE union.
In the dumps, because I honestly forget that Randy Orton is champion, and I forgot that Bray Wyatt was champion. It was moving AJ Styles out of the WWE Championship picture. It definitely was a mistake, and we are feeling the effects of that.
It was very short-sighted of them. And when we don't have a world champion on the other show, we could kind of maybe lean on SmackDown to have a world champion we'd be proud of. When I forget Randy Orton's champion every time, SmackDown's on. Randy, he is champion. That's not a good thing. It's the most prestigious belt in the world, and Jinder Mahal is the number one contender against a boring Randy Orton. It's not doing anything for that belt, and it's a big slap in the face of the people who love that belt. I love WWE. I love that belt. I want to see that to be propped up as the belt, not the Universal title or any of that crap. I want this, and they're not doing it a service. And I feel like for all the people who've never had the belt before, like Roddy Piper and all these people, Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton. Fun. Okay, let's move on to something a little bit better, depending on, well, yes, it's better because AJ Styles is involved. AJ Styles, Baron Corbin. These guys are touching a lot. And I mean wrestling.
Okay.
But they're touching. Kevin Owens on commentary. Also, we could touch on that too. Why not? How do you feel about AJ Styles in this U.S. title situation, even though it's WWE title, but it's U.S. title?
Once I get over the fact that AJ Styles shouldn't be in the U.S. title picture, he should maybe be a few levels up, maybe competing for a different kind of championship.
Yeah, I wonder
maybe one that we just probably kind of sort of talked about. But once I get over that,
title.
Once I get, is he too? No, he's probably.
No, he's probably a little over, I think. Yeah. He's no Finn Balor.
But yeah, once I get over that, I'm really liking what I see out of everything with the United States Championship. Kevin Owens, he's pretty cool. AJ Styles, Baron Corbin. I gotta say, AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin, that is my favorite matchup to play in WWE 2K17.
Really?
Last year, it was Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. Me and Charlie had some knockdown dragon matches.
Roman Reigns and Cesaro, good matchup.
Good-ass matches. But yeah, my favorite match combo in WWE 2K17 is AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. And I can play as either guy because I think that both of them have some really cool moves in their move sets. And to actually see that match come to life, to sit back and watch it, it's some good stuff. I really, really like this matchup of AJ Styles and Baron Corbin. And Another good match from them tonight on SmackDown.
So going off that though, because I want to press on this a little bit. Do you feel like there is any kind of feud for the U.S. title? Because it feels like Kevin Owens is saying things, but him and AJ aren't really like in a, let's say, traditional kind of feud. Because Baron Corbin and AJ fighting, Owens is doing his own thing. Sami Zayn's now thrown in for some reason. Like, do you feel like there is a feud here? They're just like, Kevin Owens' AJ Styles is going to be great regardless. You'll see it, whatever.
Well, you also have to take into account the fact that Kevin Owens has other stuff going on with Chris Jericho, a person on another brand right now. So I guess WWE doesn't want to like establish, or I guess they establish the roots of AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, but they don't want to get too deep with them until everything else is resolved. It's this whole superstar shakeup. It's shaking the hell out of the product to a point where you can't get too deep in this feud until this one is over with and you're feuding with a person on your brand, but your next match is versus somebody else on the other brand. So it's a lot of stuff going on right now that kind of makes it a little crazy. I'm thinking that we'd get a more streamlined feud between AJ Styles and Kevin Owens once we move past whatever is going on with the United States Championship and Chris Jericho.
Yes. I just hate that the here waited on the shakeup or something because I hate having to wait for things to happen on a wrestling product. But
what we're getting right now
it's
is
not bad.
Good though.
Yeah,
it's good. I
I
like how they're building up all of these individual characters and having them interact with each other. Baron Corbin, that's my homie.
He's my homie too. You can't have him.
No, I already put claim on Baron Corbin.
I put claim on him in NXT.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm quite sure I liked Baron Corbin before you did.
That's not fair at all. That's not true.
We can check the records.
Wait, no, we both liked him. Then Bull Dempsey feud happened. Then we fell off, but then we came back.
I didn't fall off. I knew that was Bull Dempsey's fault. It's
that Bull Dempsey's fault.
I mean, you just gave him right over to me, so thank you, Justin.
Damn it.
Thank you.
Well, I
you
guess
gave up the rights to Baron. You gave up the rights to Baron Corbin. But yeah, Baron Corbin, that's my homie. AJ Styles, of course, awesomeness. That is AJ. I talked about Kevin Owens a little bit. And Sami Zayn. I'm becoming more interested in Sami Zayn too. So
really, even though he hasn't had time to talk on the mic, like AJ really hasn't either, or Corbin for that matter.
But they're telling a story in the ring, and that has value.
Yes, it definitely does. I guess it's just I'm so used to the way WWE usually does things, so I'm kind of taken back by it. But I'm all for it. You're right. It's good stuff. I'd love to see AJ and Corbin later on for a world title, maybe, because that's a world title feud to me. Any of these guys on the world title feuds, and then there's whatever. Moving on. Delete. Moving on. Let's get to it. The segment that makes my blood boil, and it has.
What's this?
The opening segment.
Oh, okay.
It's only one half of the people that make my blood boil. The other one I really like.
Okay.
Hell, I like Renee Young too. She's fine. Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke Nakamura. Oh, jeez. It's hyped up that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to open up with a promo on SmackDown. I'm like, all right, let's watch SmackDown. You had to know Ziggler was going to come out at some point. Didn't know who'd cut him off right then and there. And I have to ask you a question. Speaking of the Jinder Mahal situation of why he's a heel and stuff, do you get the feeling that Ziggler interrupting is maybe some backstage doing too, necessarily? Because that.
In what way? Like, what are you saying?
Like, they were like Vince or Kevin Dunn, one of them, is scared to have Shinsuke Nakamura cut a promo, even a little bit without a Renee Young or a Dolph Ziggler. Because I think Dolph Ziggler was kind of playing a little, breaking that fourth wall. I don't know how to say it. Breaking like a little dash of realism to what Dolph Ziggler was saying, like in case you can't understand Japanese and doing all this stuff. You feel
definitely.
You feel like that's why they did the Ziggler thing with him tonight, or
yeah, that's probably why they structured it in that way. Yeah, I don't think that's too far fetched.
And that bothers me because goddamn, Shinsuke Nakamura is charismatic and can cut a promo. It'd be really fun to get the crowd jazzed. I mean, you don't need Dolph Ziggler to kill the segment in front of my eyes. Taking my biases all Ziggler out of it, I don't think the segment accomplished what it needed to because it made no sense.
What do you think it needed to accomplish?
It needed to accomplish that these two are feuding and there's a reason for them to be feuding instead of Ziggler just making these really whack jokes. My problem with the segment is it made no sense to me either. Shinsuke Nakamura, by the second time Ziggler asked him a question, should have kicked his head off. Instead of just being, I'm annoyed, I'm going to let this continue for some reason. I don't know why in this scenario that character would be like, okay, you're annoying me, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And Ziggler, what was he accomplishing really? Yeah, I'm talking smack about Shinsuke Nakamura, but he knows the fans are going to buy it. He doesn't want the fans to buy it.
Apparently, Nakamura is Michael Jackson.
Oh man, that is hilarious, Jay. That is Dolph Ziggler. I can't wait to see your stand-up. But
I mean, what did he expect for us to dislike Nakamura after saying
because
he was Michael Jackson?
Like yeah,
I'm sitting there like, well, shit. Thank you, Dolph Ziggler. This is an amazing promo that you're cutting on Nakamura right now. I like him even more.
Yeah, you're a good hype man. Just get me more invested in Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah,
what are you going to do yourself?
And nothing. Nothing at all.
And you can tell this is an entire feud to get Shinsuke Nakamura over, which good. I don't need to see Ziggler to get any momentum whatsoever. I don't need that. Just have Shinsuke kick his head off and move on. But if I'm looking at this from an entertainment perspective, it made no sense. Half of it was irritating because Ziggler is irritating when he's doing his smug, like, I guess it's good because he's a heel, but I think it's more go-away heat than anything else. The X-Pac heat I have for him. And Nakamura is charismatic, and he was trying with it. You could see he was like, okay, let's do this. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna do my Shinsuke Nakamura thing. The fans are already into it. We don't have to put much effort into it. And Vince is like, oh my gosh, we can't have the Japanese man speak. They will kill it. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, I guess they do have to find ways to work around the fact that he's not that fluent in English. Like, he can still speak, and I understand every single word that he's saying, but English, it isn't his first language, so they do have to find like creative ways to work around this. This was one of the ways that they found. Justin, you say, so yeah.
Well, what do you say though?
I mean, it was Nakamura being Nakamura. I kind of liked it, and of course Ziggler and his annoyingness, but he doesn't really click with me now. Yeah, maybe that's how I'll describe Dolph Ziggler, kind of a try hard. And again, comparing him to Michael Jackson, I'm not gonna fucking boo that. That's good. I like that. And then they mixed in a little Prince too with the way that they promoted it. The artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura.
Which I'm cool with that moniker.
Like, who do you want this guy to be? He's Prince, Michael Jackson. Throw it all in there.
Maybe Vince confused the two. He's like, put them together. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not the booking, but I look
Throw
at the
some Stevie Wonder in there, and then
oh my goodness,
Nakamura. He's my favorite of all time.
Well, no, now here's how we're going to do things. Now, Ziggler says that. I turn the sound off and listen to Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and Prince as I watch wrestling. Every time Shinsuke Nakamura wrestles, we have something. That's a gimmick. I can get behind that.
Go. Let's do it. Book it.
All right. So, last thing I want to talk about before we get into our hero and booty things of the night. Rusev did a promo in a weight room or somewhere. I don't know where he was. It's like, okay, I'm going to film this and send this to the audience. I don't know. I don't know wrestling sometimes. He says, I don't like Daniel Bryan. I don't like Shane McMahon. I want a world title match at Money in the Bank, or I'm going back to Bulgaria. Are you all in favor of Rusev getting a world title match at Money in the Bank? Which is months ahead. It's big planning.
See, I liked that from Rusev's perspective, but I'm wondering what is going to stop Daniel Bryan and Shane from saying, thank you, fuck you, bye. Like, they have to see some kind of value in Rusev already for them to go for something like this. And I'm wondering, how do you communicate that value to them if you're not even around for them to see how good you are? Like, are they supposed to base it off of what they've seen from you on Raw already? Because if that's the case, then I guess your ass better... you don't need a return flight back to the United States then, because if they're basing your value off of what we saw in Raw recently,
not gonna cut it.
Yeah, you're staying in Bulgaria then. But I do like
they
it
want
from
Lana though.
Yeah, they want Lana. They want to keep her.
We can't have Lana without fine.
Yeah, that's how he's gonna get it. He's gonna be like, okay, well, shit. If I'm in Bulgaria, she's coming back with me. On second thought, we'll give you that match. Come on.
Fine. If Jinder Mahal can be number one contender, why not?
Yeah, but I like things from Rusev's perspective where he's like, I'm new to this brand, and you need to know that I am a friggin' star. You better roll out the friggin' red carpet for me, leading all the way into my main stage at Money in the Bank. So doing something like that for him, I like it, but I wonder, like, is it actually going to work out? Is he going to cave? And he's like, okay, well, you know what? Or they drop off the storyline or something like that. That's going to make him come off like a punk, and I'm not going to like that. So is this going to lead to a championship match for him? Who knows? But this first step in it, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too. It was a new way of doing things. And with Rusev, I've always been a big fan of Rusev. I really want him to have a world title match somewhere down the line because I see talent in him. He's funny. He's got charisma.
He's got to lead a funny shit on Raw though. I don't want to see that anymore.
He can maybe he can go not flip flop, but not even those splices off. But it's so funny. Okay, I'll make a compromise with you. He can do the hop on the way to the ring as he jumps out the curtain.
Okay.
Give me that. Okay, boom. We keep the hop and he can match again. But besides that, we're good. I'd like to see Rusev get a world title push. I mean, he went that entire U.S. title run undefeated and all this stuff. He's never had a world title match. Let's give him one. See what he does. Because SmackDown needs some heels, too. We got Baron Corbin. You want to say Jinder Mahal? Sure. And that's about it. So give Rusev a big push and see what happens. I'm cool with it. So let's wrap this up. Jay, who is your star of the night? Who took the SmackDown and stood out more than anybody else that you're saying, you know what, the SmackDown, bam, my favorite part of it?
I'm putting the spotlight on the match between AJ Styles and Baron Corbin.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my, I guess I'd say that was my favorite part of the night. Or, I could always put it on Naomi's entrance, but if that's the case, that'd win every friggin' week. Like I said earlier, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, it's my favorite matchup to play in WWE 2K17, and to see it be brought onto TV, that's good stuff.
For my star of the night, it kills me not to give it to Eric Rowan because, man, does he deserve it. He took Randy Orton and made him a star in one match with weapons, table spots. This is good stuff, but I can't go with him. Honestly, I would give it to Charlotte tonight. Okay. I think it's weird because I'm not a big Charlotte person. I'm growing on her by the day, it seems like. Like I'm like a little growth.
You're growing on her?
She's growing on me. Like I have a growth, and she's just like poking out. But I really like what she's doing. I'm glad because she does elevate any division show she's on by just being there and being a good wrestler. So, and she carried Naomi to the best match Naomi's had in ever. I don't know. Someone will fact check me. No, man, the AJ Lee match on NXT. Like, I love AJ Lee too, but please. But yeah, I'll give it to Charlotte. I think she deserved it. I want to see more from her. I want to see her really, really sink her teeth into this and have just change of scenery. Not the same Sasha Banks feud, Bayley feuds. Something new. Let's go with it. Okay. So, what's booty about SmackDown this week? Just something you could say girl bye to.
I don't know. This was a pretty solid episode of the show. I could always go with Eric Rowan, but just as it was with Naomi's entrance, that'd be my pick.
Okay, you can't knock it. That match was great. He was great in it. Did he get flashbacks to that stairs match he had with the Big Show?
Oh my god! I get nightmares about that.
It's like Vietnam flashback. You're just like cold chill sweeps over you.
Honestly, I don't have a booty segment. I'm not that. That's not to say that
everything was perfect.
Yeah, but it's just that like not one moment stood out to where it's like, oh hell no,
oh hell no. You just flip that shit.
Yeah, just start tearing shit up.
Nothing to that. All right, mine. It's pretty obvious. It's always going to be Dolph Ziggler. It's like etched in stone. Like how me and Jay are supposed to do shows like together all the time. It's
when did this become a thing?
Since today. Okay. Since you DM'd me earlier today saying, hey, want to do the show. Dolph Ziggler sucked tonight. He's always sucked. I am not scared to fight any fanboy about him. I may be irrational, but Dolph Ziggler sucks. He's a try-hard. He's a bum. I don't like him. Nakamura kick his head off, and I hope he just goes off to fail at stand-up comedian shit.
See, I'm glad that you finally stopped lying about Dolph Ziggler. Because
remember, you know what Dolph Ziggler is, Jay? Let's have a frank conversation. Because you're my therapist right now. Dr. Dub's back.
Okay. I don't have the glasses.
You don't need them right now. Your prescription contacts, whatever. You know what Dolph Ziggler is? He's that guy you just don't like. You see him every day. You don't know why you don't like him. He's just got that face. You just want to punch, like Shia LaBeouf. He is the Shia LaBeouf of pro wrestling. And he's like the kind of guy you don't like, but then he ends up fucking your sister. You just don't like him even more. You're trying too hard to get my favorite. It's not the way you do this.
Oh,
regardless, venting aside, let's close this out. What's your overall grade for SmackDown? Like, take us to school.
I give SmackDown a Q.
A Q?
Yeah.
Like cutie?
No, a Q.
Just a Q?
Yeah.
What's Q stand for?
It's a Q.
You're not going to give it a grade, Jay.
I don't like grading shows because
that's fair.
Because I don't like to just. Here I'm about to get all complicated and philosophical. Like the grade is in the journey. Like that is the coup de grace. That is the moment.
That's a Finn Balor finisher.
No, that's a coup de grace or something like that. But
I thought it was whatever. A coup de grace. Whatever.
Point is, like, I am the type of person. It's all about the journey, how we get to that point. That's the most important thing, you know. So I'm not a big grade type guy, but if I was forced to give it a grade, I'd give it a Q.
You know what, Jay? I'm not big on grades either. I just thought that's something we do on these review shows. So I'm not going to give it a grade either because I don't know what the merit of it. We could do like number ranking, but that makes no sense. What's the difference between a 7 and an 8? I don't know. But I'm not going to give it a grade.
That's my exact point. Like, am I breaking this shit down on like a an analytical level to where there's something specific you have to have for a 7, then an 8, but what about a 7.5 and shit? If we're bringing in decimals and stuff, could we go for 0.6 and then 0.66 and 0.67, stuff like that. So you know what? I'll give this episode of SmackDown a 6.92.
Oh, don't say that, Jay. It's going to come back to haunt you. Oh, you rated that 6.9, but what about this one? You gave it a 6.1.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
See, that's another reason why, like, I don't get into the grades. Because, shit, it's like I feel a certain way now. It's like I give it a 6.92 now. But 6.92 6 months later, that means something different, So, who knows? I feel things. I don't grade. I feel.
You know what?
I felt SmackDown.
You got caught up in the feels. You felt the glow. It's all good. Mm-hmm. You know what we'll say for the SmackDown? I give it a slight thumbs up. That's what we'll do. Judge that for whatever you want. I enjoyed it. Jay, it was fun doing the show with you.
We didn't mention the tag team stuff.
Oh, Cass is going to kill us. Jesus Christ. All right. Tag teams. Take your... Whatever. Rewind. Beat the Clock Challenge. What's like Breezango faced the Ascension and won the Beat the Clock Challenge, ignoring the fact that American Alpha, even though without character, still interesting, lost. Colognes, that didn't matter.
I do gotta say I like the American Alpha versus the Colognes match, and the Colognes, they were pretty good in this one. One thing that I will definitely give them credit on, they change up their moveset with every gimmick that they have. I remember actually liking them initially as Los Matadors because they incorporated all of that Matador stuff into their gimmick. And I think it was tonight where it was Primo, I believe. He went for like a Russian leg sweep and then a flawless transition into submission in the middle of the ring versus Chad Gable. That was some good stuff. So I like what I saw from the Colognes
that side.
From an in-ring perspective, and they seem to be taken more seriously now, so that's good. And I love Jason Jordan tonight when he was like, you know what, fuck a hot tag, like this is a beat the clock challenge, let me just go ahead and jump in the ring and handle business. But it looks like they couldn't handle it that well because
look who's your number one contender.
Breezango. Yeah,
Breezango. And to go off your thing, I guess I shouldn't have shortchanged them because before the match with the Colognes and American Alpha happened, I was like, oh, I don't want to see them. So I don't like the Colognes. They've been booked like crap, all this stuff. The Shining Stars is their worst gimmick. You can say what you will about Los Matadores. It made sense. Kind of. I don't know. More sense than the Shining Stars. But I like their aggression in the match. I love their finisher, like the push into a backstabber kind of a thing. I really like the aggression. I'm willing to see where they do with that. Just like how like the Usos when they turned heel, they became more aggressive and this like felt like people kind of a thing. You didn't feel like a stereotype or just like character, big character, all this good stuff. So I enjoyed that. With Breezango in Ascension, thank God the Ascension didn't win. But that doesn't mean I want Breezango to win either. I don't get this big hoopla. I saw a big like uproar like Twitter, like yeah, giving people a chance.
It's the land of opportunity. That's SmackDown's.
Maybe it's a good. I don't know if I'm gonna say that, but I don't want opportunity anymore. This is what the opportunity is. I'd rather have a tag team that is credible, not people who do have sun tanning, smacking chest comedy. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. I like Tyler Breeze. I like Fandango. I'm not doing the name thing anymore, guys. It's been how many years? But so maybe it'll be good. The Usos are good. Maybe this is the shot of adrenaline to the chest SmackDown needed. Yeah. We shall see.
Maybe.
But with that, I exude myself a SmackDown. It was fun doing the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, subscribe. We have a podcast coming up this week, right?
Yes, it'll be me and Steven. We'll be going over the kayfabe tier list, and also we'll be talking about the structure of WWE's hierarchy list thing. Something that Steven said. I'll retweet it on Twitter because
Yeah, it should be really
a different kind of guy. He's a different kind of guy. So.
And I'm sure it's going to be a Clash of the Titans, not Titus. Clash of the Titans, and a bunch of other big things coming on PWF Empire. Keep checking it out. Next week there'll be Raw review with Cass. Be looking for it. It's going to be great.
Just next Cass?
Week, who am I forgetting? Because it rotates every week, doesn't it?
No.
Because
it's the same two people.
But yesterday it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Was it? I sincerely apologize to the people at the Raw review. I'm a bum, but I hope you all enjoyed yourself. But next week it should be back to normal. Exciting. Glad you came and watched. All right. Peace out. Taking Jay's lines. I'm great.